Rooftop, got the little ocean view going. Sun's about to set over here. I'm on the west coast. So on the west coast on my roof, just chilling out. Got the ocean view, beautiful day. Man, and what a week it was in New York. Woo! For anybody that's been in New York, it's fun for a day or two, and then the traffic, the people, it's just a nightmare. And it was a lot of really good people to meet there. Sat with some really really cool teams, but boy, I just got tired. So flew out this morning, got back to California, and man, I've never been so happy to be here. But I just we didn't Jake and I didn't get together and do our day three kind of recap, and so I just want to give you kind of my perspective. Jake and I were pretty much together the whole time, but we did kind of split up and talk to different teams and do some different things. So I just kind of want to give you my perspective on it. Obviously, you guys already know I kind of have a little bit of a different perspective, right? A different viewpoint. Yeah, I see some thumbs up. I appreciate that. I'm going to keep giving you guys some good stuff here, but a lot of really good stuff happened. Jake and I both had an amazing thing, and I wanted to say that the first thing is for my kind of final thoughts is that overall, gosh, I can't be more bullish on the industry. I know a lot of people were expecting this price pump. They thought that consensus would pump the price and we'd see this huge price spike, and that didn't happen. But I can tell you that the things that are going on in the industry are so bullish. It's amazing. And what's really cool for me, having been in the space for a couple of years and really talking about fundamental things, talking about infrastructure that we need. So back like 6-7 months ago, I started talking about one of the big things we need for the institutional investors to come in is we need infrastructure. We need custody accounts. And what that means is that, for me and you, we can have a hardware wallet, a hot wallet. We can use a Trezor, a Ledger. We can keep a few $1,000s, whatever, a few $100,000, however much you have. But for these institutions that have $500 million or more, they need a better solution. They can't just put it onto a hardware wallet and have it get lost. They need custody, institutional grade custody. And so I've been talking about that for 6 or 7 months. That we really need a solution for that, and we have it. There were several good solutions at the show, so that was really cool. The size of the show was almost quadrupled from last year, over 8,000 people. I know we've already talked about that, but if you haven't seen the other shows, over 8,000 people, which is just amazing. I mean, it's gone from like about 2,500 last year to 8,000, so massive growth. Lots of suits. Lots of suits were there. Jake and I weren't in suits, but lots of suits were there. The show belongs in Las Vegas. Yeah, Frank. I think next year they're going to need to move it to the Jacob Javits Center because it's just too small at the hotel. But lots of suits, and so what that means is there's all these institutions that are there. So we have all the bankers are there, all the lawyers are there. We had lots of talks about regulations. So we had the CFTC, Commodities Future Exchange. We had the SEC. They were there. They spoke on a bunch of panels. A lot of people were not happy with we didn't get clarity. They were hoping that we'd get better clarity. I know a lot of projects are sitting on the sidelines waiting for that clarity, but we didn't get that. But I don't think that's a bad thing. What I like about it is that they're actually taking kind of a hands-off approach and giving, trying to take their time to do the right thing. And so they haven't really come down on anybody. They haven't, maybe one or two kind of really shady projects, but for the most part, they're just letting it go along. Jake actually shared a table with one of the heads of the CFTC one night and had a lot of conversations with them, and they're just kind of letting it go. And so that's good. Overall, the sentiment was super high. Everybody is super positive. The amount of projects that are coming in are amazing. New technologies are being done. And so I know we haven't seen it in the prices yet, but this is just building, right? It's building. And my tweet I put out today, if you're not on Twitter, follow me. It's Strong Hands HODL, Strong Hands HODL. I put out yeah, Christine. Yes, I said that you need custody. So custody is how you retain your coins, right? So you probably either keep them on the exchange or you put them on a app wallet on your phone, or maybe you have a ledger or a Trezor, right? So that's custody, how you retain that. And we need institutional grade custody for people that are going to hold 500 million or more, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, custody. But anyway. Sentiment's super high. I know the price didn't pump. Jake is much better to tell you what's going to happen with the price over the next week or two, but I am the one to tell you what's going to happen over the next 6 months, the next 1 to 2 years. And I believe that we're still going to hit over $1 trillion in market cap by the end of this year. I think we'll see $20 trillion of securities become tokenized within the next 5 or less, maybe 2 to 5 years. So that's good. Like I said, lots of the sentiment is super high, and what's really amazing is these trends of top tier talent leaving Fortune 500 and financial institutions to come into the blockchain space. And I'm not going to list them all out, but over the last week, we've seen like 6 or 7 very high profile people leaving Fortune 500 jobs in banks, JP Morgan, someone who had just got promoted to a vice president of Goldman Sachs, which is like a lifetime career job. They left it to go to the blockchain space. Bittrex has recruited some of the top CFTC and SEC attorneys to come work for them. So we're seeing this massive shift of the best talent in the world coming into the blockchain space. So like I said, I don't know what that means for the next week or two, the next month or two. I'm not gonna try to answer that for you, but I can tell you over the next 6 months, over the next year, over the next 2 to 3 years, it's going to be amazing. Like I said, $20 trillion in the next couple of years coming over. Some of the new projects that I saw that I was really, really excited about, and I've already talked about it. Jake and I actually talked about it together. Really, one of the big pieces that I'm happy with is the interoperable space. The interoperability space. So we talked a lot about Aon. I know you guys, some of you guys were happy to hear us talk about that. We actually did a sit-down interview with Matt, the CEO of the founder of Aon. We did a sit-down with him. We're going to put that interview out. Really, really cool interview. The guy is so smart. And one thing that's important in this space when you're looking at projects to get into and you're trying to evaluate them is you need to make sure that the team has a very good go-to-market strategy. What that means is that's how they're going to get it into the market, how they're going to market it, how they're going to position it, what kind of relationships they're going to have. That's the most important thing because these are open source projects, and that means anybody could just fork the technology. So you need to make sure the team is very well connected, well spoken, well thought. And these guys are amazing. So we're going to put that video out for you guys later, probably this week. Also, I really like the privacy protocols. Monero was there. Fluffy Pony was talking quite a bit. I did a nice interview with one of the co-founders, Rob, from Zencash. And Zencash is a really, really cool project. If you guys haven't taken a look at it, you should. Zencash is a privacy coin, but it's way more than that. So you probably know I love protocols, so it's a privacy protocol. So they're going to have a protocol that people can build privacy messengers on, private messengers, private storage, private video, all these different things. Custody, interoperability, and stable coins. Yeah, so there was a lot of talk about stable coins as well. I'm not a super big fan of that. I mean, I understand it's important because, especially as you're trading, you want to be able to move out of a position into like a USDT. Obviously, Tether is a little bit sketchy. So having alternatives to Tether is good. What some of these stable coins are doing is they're backing the coin either by dollars like Tether supposedly does, or by real world assets. So like a basket of currencies like gold or oil, things like that. So that's super cool. So the interoperability layer space is really cool. Also in that space, besides Aon, is Fusion. Wanchain was there. They're really cool. Icon, of course, is there. The privacy protocols I just talked about. We had lunch with Pivx. That was super cool. So good meetings with Pivx. Thanks for taking the time to sit down and have lunch with us. Like I said, Zencash. And then another really, really big trend right now is the sharing economy space. So the sharing economy space is, think of Uber, right? Uber or Airbnb. So basically, we don't always need to buy everything. We can just share it. And so there's several new projects getting in there. Maybe some of you guys have been watching, like OCN is kind of a hot one right now. Origin Trail is a good one. I met with the guys from Origin Protocol, which is in pre-sale right now, and I think that's going to be an amazing project. It's out of San Francisco, out of the Silicon Valley, which is another trend, actually. So Silicon Valley is getting the best projects, as you might imagine. So the San Francisco, the Bay Area, Palo Alto, lot of really, really good projects coming from there. Storm's probably in that space as well. So those were the trends: interoperability, the privacy protocols, continue the sharing economy, and then the institutional tools. So we've continued to talk about we need institutions to come in with trillions of dollars. And so we need the tools for them. And so I said custody, of course. We need institutional grade trading platforms. We need institutional grade news outlets. So they have like Bloomberg terminals that gives them all the news and trading, everything they need together. Another thing we saw was lots of funds there to invest in all these projects, and everybody's trying to get in with them. Jacob sat on a real interesting show. I'll let him talk about that more, but basically had a bunch of ICOs pitching him. I think we probably saw at least 3 or 4 different times where we sat down and had ICOs pitch us, which was really cool. Lots of ICO incubators, ICO accelerators. So lots of companies that are coming behind them, helping them make their relationship, set them up, and get them going. And then last night Jacob and I stayed for the cryptocurrency influencer awards. That was pretty cool. Jacob actually got an award for the best live stream. So that was really cool. He deserves it, man. He puts in some serious time doing live stream for you guys. That was rad. And then we got to watch more ICO pitches. The really cool thing is that, about going to these conferences. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of money. But what's cool is meeting the teams, boots on the ground, sitting down with the teams, because a lot of people in this space don't really know what they're talking about. It's actually kind of scary. I have about 20 years of investing experience, and I've studied all these cycles. And so I get it from a political side, I get the technology side, the money side. But so many of these guys, they don't even know what's going on here. And so when you sit down with these teams, you really find out pretty quickly if they know what they're talking about and if they don't. And that's a really big thing. And then you also do it for connections. So now we've added big time to our Rolodex of funds, so people feeding projects, so we can keep bringing breaking news to you guys, right? We want to keep bringing the best coins, the best projects to you guys up front. So that's kind of it. That's my thoughts on the show. I'm back. I'm super tired. It's been 8 days. I was in New York, and it's a nightmare being there. If you guys have any questions, I'll try and answer them. I see Val says, funny how most projects from the Bay Area don't let U.S. citizens in. Yeah, that's a shame. I'm not super, I don't like that policy. Obviously, most people don't. I think it's kind of ridiculous that you can go buy as many lottery tickets as you want. You can go spend as much money gambling as you want, but you can't get into an ICO. But that's the way the laws are, unfortunately. So anyone else have any other questions? I'll try and get through a couple of them here. I see, but otherwise, yeah, that's it. We're going to be coming with a lot more original content for you guys next week. I have already kind of planned out a couple talks. If you guys have anything you want us to cover, go ahead and drop it in the comments. We always love to see the comments. And we're going to start trying to deliver more stuff. Why is Jimmy Song so bearish on other cryptos instead of Bitcoin? Bluefig wants to know. Jimmy Song, he is what's called a Bitcoin maximalist, right? So that's what we call him. He believes in Bitcoin, and as do I. For those of you guys that don't know, let me just tell you this real quick. Bitcoin was what's called revolutionary. All right, it's not better. It's not a better form of payment. It's not a better form of PayPal. It's not PayPal 2.0. It was revolutionary. So what that means is that for the first time in human history, first time ever, we have a technology that gives us censorship resistance. Meaning, if I have money, no one can seize it, steal it, freeze it, manipulate it. And if I want to send it to you, nobody can stop it, block it, or whatever. And so that's why Bitcoin was revolutionary. And what Jimmy Songs is bearish about is that there's all these new projects jumping on this blockchain bandwagon that aren't really blockchain companies. They don't need blockchain technology. They're not even a good use of blockchain technology. And they don't need a coin. They're just jumping in to try and get their hat in the ring and to raise a bunch of money. And really, Jimmy Songs actually had a talk, and he put everybody on blast about that. That was pretty cool. So yeah, I wouldn't say he's bearish, but that's the thing about him. Song and Tone are Maximus. Yeah, Tone. He was at the awards with us last night. We got to speak with him quite a bit. That was cool. He's a technical analyst. He doesn't really dig deep into the fundamentals, so maybe that's why he's a little bit short-sighted. Um, Sean Thomas wants to know any news dates on new formats for Signal Profits and Research Profits. Yeah, good question, Sean. We have about 30 days ago, we brought on a whole new team to basically rebuild everything, and we're gonna come out with the like Fortune 500 style quality and content and platform, like the best you've ever seen. Unfortunately, you can't build that right away. We've gotten through the design phase. The whole technology side is wireframed out. It's mapped out. It's being built. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, it'll be done. For Research Profits, if you don't like trading all the time, or if you want to learn how to just get into the best projects, or which the best projects are, and you can just sell them and hold them for a year. Research Profits last year, out of 16 long-term positions, 10 of them went up 1,000%. You can go to research.signalprofits.com, research.signalprofits.com. For that, Sean. So check that out. Otherwise, a couple weeks we'll have the whole redesign out, and that'll be really cool. Chad says he's correcting me that Tone Vase knows fundamentals well. He does, and like I said, I sat down with him last night. We talked, and he's super smart. It's just he's more of a technical analyst, and obviously you can see that in all his live chats. Everything he does is sit down and talk about charting. He's not talking about fundamentals. Christine says institutions wanting in, so now U.S. are not included. I'm not sure what you're saying, Christine. Rakesh says BTC is the currency for Alpha Centauri. Yeah, I don't know what that means. BTC is the reserve currency of the cryptocurrency world, just like the U.S. dollar is the world reserve currency for the world. If you wanted to buy oil or gold anywhere in the world, it would be priced in dollars, and that's why, just like all cryptocurrencies are priced in Bitcoin. So I think that's what you're saying, Rakesh. Chad says if BTC fails, all crypto fails. I don't believe that's the case. Obviously we see how if Bitcoin goes up and down, it kind of brings the whole market up and down with it. But that's mainly because Bitcoin is the gateway. All the coins are coupled with Bitcoin, and we're already starting to see a lot of these coins decoupling from Bitcoin. And what that means is now you can actually buy a lot of altcoins with Ether, a lot of altcoins with Litecoin and USDT, and now we're starting to come out with more stable coins. So like Poloniex is going to launch their version of USDT, and so I believe Bitcoin will continue to be decoupled, and then it won't drag the whole industry up and down with it. Dave wants to know, is it still okay just to hold BTC? Sure, I think holding BTC is great. I mean, obviously for the long term, most people are very bullish on that. I think most people are in agreement. Most of the people that are plugged in think, $25,000 to $35,000 by the end of the year is pretty realistic. Tim Draper is saying $250,000 in like 2 years. So yeah, you could do pretty good just holding on to Bitcoin for sure. I mean, obviously you'll make a lot more money getting into good altcoins for sure. Just me. I sure hope you're making babies. Okay, I do have babies. Actually, I got 2 of them. Thanks for that. Justin Mason wants to know my thoughts on ADA. Yeah, I'll tell you my thoughts on ADA. That's Cardano. My thoughts on it. It's headed up by Charles Hoskinson, and he has a company, IOHK, and he is amazingly smart, super brilliant. IOHK is a lab where they do R&D, and they have their own development. They work on a lot of projects. And what they do is extremely smart. Back to ADA, it's still a concept at this point. It's not a working blockchain, meaning they don't have project. It's not launched. They don't have projects out on it. And as a matter of fact, they don't have really any plans to launch it for quite a while, which is that's fine. They're taking their time. He says they're the first peer-reviewed whatever, right? Blockchain, and that's cool, but I just think that the industry is moving so fast that the longer they wait to get in it, the further they're getting behind. I think it has amazing potential because I really love the team. I know it's some of the smartest guys there. I don't like the fact that the market has priced it so high when it's not even out and being used today. So that's my thoughts on ADA. I think if you did want to buy and hodl it, um, then be prepared to hodl it for quite a while. I don't think you're going to see the big upside on it that you wouldn't on some other coins. Frank, do I think the industry could pass them by? Yeah, just because things are happening so fast. Like, so for example, we sat down with Matt from Aeon, and he's talking about executing on the roadmap. So all these coins have these roadmaps that are, maybe 1 to 2 years out. And he said it's super important to execute on the roadmap. However, we're learning new things. Other people are designing new technologies, and it may change the course of our roadmap. So we're starting to pull these things in and change it, and so that's how fast things are evolving. And so if ADA could get passed up, everyone could get passed up. 12 Weemy, AST is best DEX out there? Question mark. I think so. Well, AST is not a DEX, so I would say no. I don't agree with you. They're not a DEX, right? So they are a protocol. My focus went out. They're a protocol that decentralized exchanges work on. I do like AST though. However, I do like AST as a protocol. 0x is also a protocol, and 0x has been doing really good. A lot of projects happening on 0x. Also, Loopring is also a decentralized protocol as well, but they're not decentralized exchanges. It's the difference. They're the technology that a decentralized exchange can run on. Dave Stewart, love ICX though. Were they there? Yeah, they were. ICX was there. We talked to them a couple of times. I love what ICX is doing as well. Now, ICX, Wanchain, and Aeon, all three of them formed what's called the Interoperability Alliance. And so I'm super bullish on that, the interoperability layer. For those of you guys that don't know what that means, interoperability means that blockchains can interoperate. They can work between themselves. So now we have, 2,000 blockchains. We have 2,000 coins. We need a way for them all to work together. If I'm launching my own blockchain, it's not really practical for me to try and make it work with 1,000 blockchains. I can't do that. But what I can do is I can have an interoperability, like a router, like your computer, like your network uses a router. So I can connect to one blockchain, and everybody, 2,000 people, all connect to the same blockchain, and now we can all be interoperable. And it's not just moving money, it's also moving logic, right? So moving assets is one thing, but we need to move logic. So these are smart contracts. So it's like, if this, then that, right? So what can happen with an interoperability player like Aeon or Wanchain or Fusion, right, is it can actually use multiple blockchains together. So for example, it could pull identity from Civic, and it could pull money from Litecoin, and it could pull smart contracts from Ethereum. And so all these different pieces of blockchains could all work together in one package with an interoperability layer. Sorry, it's a tongue twister. ICX is going to be a monster for sure. They just need Fusion to get on board. It'd be massive. Yeah, I like Fusion. I think Fusion is going to be big anyway. What's cool about the alliance that they did is they're kind of working to standardize a protocol. So that's a pretty big piece. So if they can all kind of pool their power together to standardize this, then everybody can start working towards a standard, and that will really start speeding up. So everybody's kind of working on their own right now, but once we can develop a standard, and so for those of you guys that don't know what that means, a protocol is a way something works. So for example, if you've ever set up email, whether that's on your phone or Outlook or whatever, you have like SMTP settings. So SMTP is a protocol of how email is sent. But I can have different email providers. I could use Gmail, I could use Outlook, I could use Hotmail, and each one of those email client is a little bit different, but they're all built to the same SMTP protocol. So that's what that means. So once we can standardize protocols, right now everybody's developing their own, but if we can standardize a protocol, then that will really start to speed up this ecosystem quite a bit. George Barbosa, Chinese blockchains, are they going to be bigger than USA and European blockchains? I wouldn't say that, no, but here's what I would say about that. So, if you study China at all, which I've studied China a lot, you'll understand that, like for example, Google is illegal in China, but they have their own version. It's called Baidu. Facebook is illegal in China, but they have their own version. It's called WeChat. All right. So all these things from the West, like from the United States, are illegal in China, but China has their own versions of it. So, for example, that's one reason why I like Neo, is that I don't believe China will use Ethereum. China will want their own version of Ethereum, and that's where I think Neo fits in. So, to answer your question, I don't think they're going to be bigger, but I think they'll be massive, and they'll kind of be on their own in their own market. Um, should I trust Afghani crypto altcoins? I don't know which ones you're talking about specifically, but I don't know. What else we got? All right, guys. I just wanted to give you guys my updates. I've been gone for 8 days in New York. Just got home, back to California, back to the beach. I'm so stoked. I mean, look how nice this is. Can't really see that because the sun, but look at that. I mean, it's just beautiful out. I don't know where you guys are at. Where are you guys at? Do you think Anne's gonna be a monster? Yes, I think Anne's gonna be a monster. Where are you guys at? Are you cold? Is it nighttime? Are you jealous? Oh, Minnesota, Shanghai, cool. Tornado. New York, cold. San Francisco, Washington, Oakland, cool. Amsterdam, nice. I've been to Amsterdam a couple times. New Mexico, Hawaii. I just spent a month over in Hawaii. I love it there. Mill Valley. So Hawaii's not jealous. They got weather like this, right? Kansas City, Virginia, Seoul. It's interesting. For me being from the beach, I go to the city and I'm just like, oh, like a day or two is cool, and then I'm just like, get me out of here. But if you're from the city and you come here to the beach, it's like it's too boring here, and you're like, I need to get back to the city. So it's kind of like depends on where you're from. Oh, Dominican Republic, cool. No, I'm not in Hermosa. I'm in between LA and San Diego. Um, UK, I don't know where that is. Asberkind, cool. So all over. That's cool. You guys are all tuning in. Skip Georgia. Any news on credits? Yeah. You know what? Maybe I can do a little fundamental review. Give me some thumbs up if you guys want me to do a fundamental review analysis on credits this week. I'm at 28 thumbs up right now. Give me 10 of them, and I'll do a fundamental review on credits this week. I don't know. I guess nobody cares about credits. Credits versus Zilliqa. Oh, head to head. Okay, we could do that maybe. Yeah, Maximus, I'm back in California. I just landed. Man, I'm just so happy. Okay, we got some thumbs up. I'll put credits on the map. We'll do that this week. All right. I'll put together a little fundamental DYOR. I'll do DYOR for you, and I'll do it live. So that'll be cool. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. It's Friday night. Go have some fun. I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna go hang out with the family, get something to eat, have a drink, get the weekend started. Don't be bummed out. The prices are down. I hate seeing red. Today we got a little bit of a bounce. I know there's all these technical analysts that are out there spreading fear and telling you the market's going to crash. The market, I just can't be more bullish. Coming back from consensus, I'm telling you, the pieces that are coming together right now are so big. It is, yeah, buying opportunities, exactly, Noah. This industry is going to grow so big, but you got to be patient. Everybody is expecting it to be further along than it is, and you got to be 15 years. So, give it another year or two, but buy up while you. Guys, thanks so much for joining in on your Friday night. Have fun. Go be with your friends and family. Don't refresh your apps, and we'll be back next week. I'll do a fundamental review on CS for you guys. All right. See you guys.